So I was just out here walking the dogs, just a real short quarter-mile flat walk. Kind of wanted to see what my heart rate did and compare my watch to my pulse oximeter. I've only had it for a couple days, ordered it off Amazon after just kind of researching, asking an AI bot, what's the best fitness watch, fitness tracker for the things that I want to use it for, and without breaking the bank, this is sort of what we came up with. I was thinking about an Apple Watch because I do use an iPhone. I just didn't feel like spending the money yet on that. So, I don't know. I've got to watch some more YouTube videos on all the different settings and functions of this. So far, so good. So, I think I'm going to like it. But I've just decided my POTS symptoms seem to be affecting me more, and I would like to start really tracking my heart rate a little bit better and just see what's going on, and see if I can start managing my symptoms better. So I've been dealing with this for quite some time. I'd say in 2020 is when I figured out I've got this thing called POTS, and pre-pandemic, actually, I had these symptoms before COVID. I did get COVID summer of 21, was pretty sick with it, and I'm wondering if that exacerbated my symptoms at that point. But I have an outdoor nature channel where I do hiking videos and other things, and I can hear my breathing, even just easy walking. It's like noticeable to me how worse my shortness of breath and how loud my breathing has gotten, which is super irritating when you're trying to film nature films and hiking videos. So I'm going to try this new watch out. I'll keep using the pulse oximeter when I need to. Obviously, it's not great for outside cold temperatures, because another thing common with POTSies is circulation issues and tending to have very cold hands and feet, and that definitely applies to me. So as soon as we walked outside, my hands and fingers became icy cold, even though it's only 45 degrees out. But I'll just see if I can keep tracking things and try to figure out how I'm going to keep doing the things I love while managing my symptoms and not just feeling super fatigued, dizzy, lightheaded, anxious, short of breath, everything that goes with it. So anyway, I'm gonna get back inside because I'm doing the worst thing you can do with POTS, which is just standing still in one place. So time to go feed the dogs, sit down, and continue to hydrate. This video that I'm making is kind of specifically about trying to stay active, hike, walk with POTS, but it'd be good for anybody, especially anybody with like low blood pressure issues or anything like that. But POTS is an acronym for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. There's kind of been this explosion in POTS cases and research, especially since the pandemic and COVID, because apparently a lot of people with long COVID, post-COVID symptoms basically developed POTS. There's a lot of people that have POTS for a lot of other reasons and have had it for a long, long time pre-pandemic, and that includes me. But I feel like since the pandemic, there's been a lot more information and awareness and support and research on this condition. So I would encourage anybody that feels like they have symptoms or is dealing with something, or any kind of chronic illness for that matter, do your research, ask questions, talk to your doctor. There's a lot of support groups. I'm on several POTS Facebook groups that have been very helpful to me. Turns out I had another condition called SVTs, had a heart ablation last year for the SVTs, have not had any since then. So that was awesome. That was amazing. And the electrophysiologist, cardiologist specialist basically told me that what he thought is I actually have POTS and SVT. I kind of had two things going on. I had this arrhythmia that I've probably had my whole life, and then I had POTS symptoms that were getting worse, and they just happened to be triggered by the same things. Heat intolerance, excessive heat, prolonged standing, stress, exercise. So it's kind of helped me to learn how to manage my symptoms, but I am still going to have to keep working to figure out how to increase my exercise and fitness and conditioning while managing these symptoms. And I did exactly what the Johns Hopkins website said to manage conservatively, which was wearing compression socks, hydrating, and increasing salt intake as much as possible, avoiding prolonged standing, routine exercise. I did exactly what Johns Hopkins said to do, and this was before I even saw a doctor, and I did not go on medicine for it. I can't take propranolol or any other, beta blockers that cardiologists love to put people on to bring their heart rate down, because I already have low blood pressure. So it would just lower my blood pressure more and make me feel even worse. So that just wasn't really an option for me. So this is just sort of how I am dealing with it right now. Well, this is what happens when you put a pulse ox on cold fingers, or if it's cold. It was working fine yesterday, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, it's 45 degrees out. It's like not that cold. There we go. You see how it's starting to read my heart rate down there? Like it's kind of getting a consistent signal. Then you know it might actually work. So it's saying 125. Just standing here. Seems kind of high, because my watch was saying more like 110. So this is just a leisurely walking pace on a super flat nature trail. I've been away from the house for like maybe 5 minutes. But this might not be working right either, as you can tell. Let's see. Let's see what the watch says. And the watch is saying 118, but now it's dropping back down. I've been comparing my new Garmin Forerunner 165. I've been comparing the heart rate with the pulse ox, especially when I'm just sitting inside. And they've been pretty close to each other. So, still trying to learn about this new fitness watch. Mainly just got it to track my heart rate. But this is this is my walking heart rate. Easy flat walk. I've had already 1 liter of salt hydration mix in me today, and I've got my compression socks on, and it's cool outside. So now if I do any kind of hill, like, I have no tolerance for hills. So you see that little hill right there? It's like 30 feet long. I've noticed that my heart rate really goes up with any type of incline at all. And my breathing. my breathing gets real heavy. And there's usually a little bit of a delay. So 125, 126, not terrible. Just going up that little hill. And you can hear my breathing. So I've been in the kitchen for about 2 minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes, feeding the dogs, getting my breakfast ready. So just standing in here, which is the worst thing we can do. You can see the heart rate went up into the 130s. We're walking outside slowly in the cold temp was actually lower. So we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does when I sit down. So you see how fast it comes down with sitting. I mean, I haven't even been sitting for a minute. Heart rate's already below 100. I think my resting heart rate's been in the 70s, mid 70s lately. So, standing in the kitchen for a few minutes with compression socks with a liter of hydration mix in me. And my heart rate's 137. And now I've been sitting down for a minute and it's already coming back down to normal. Okay, I've been back inside probably close to 10 minutes now, and there's my heart rate after I've been sitting down for a few minutes. And then here's what the pulse ox on normal temperature, hands and fingers, is supposed to do. So I mean, now that my fingers and hands aren't freezing cold, it's working like it's supposed to, and you can see it's reading me right around 90, which is what my Garmin watch is saying as well. So just know, if you are using a pulse oximeter, if you put it on and it's giving you a really weird reading, your oxygen's super low, your heart rate is, super high, make sure your fingers aren't ice cold, or that the actual pulse oximeter itself's not cold, because it will give you faulty readings if it's not at pretty much room temperature. But it's working like it's supposed to now. So that's what I've been using to compare. So they're pretty, this Garmin watch is pretty spot on so far. I think it's going to come in handy. So sitting, my resting heart rate's right around 80, which is pretty average. Resting heart rate is usually 60, anywhere from 60 to 100. So let's see what it does when I stand. So you can see it went up really quickly into the 120s, just with standing. The longer I stand here, the higher it's probably gonna go. And I don't feel great. I mean, I don't feel like I'm gonna pass out, but It's like I feel kind of weak. I don't know how to explain it. Kind of weak and shaky. And that would get worse the longer I stand here. So a lot of people with POTS from sitting to standing will have a 30 beats per minute jump or more that stays consistently high. And the diagnostic standard is this thing called a tilt table test, where they measure all of this over a period of, I think, 10 to 15 minutes. I was supposed to have one last year, but I canceled it because I was gonna have to pay completely out of pocket for it. And I've heard they're not a very good experience for people with these symptoms. People with severe POTS will pass out, black out if they stand for too long, or they'll pass out in their tilt table test. All right, guys, so walking your dog with POTS. Mornings are terrible. Mornings are very, very difficult. It takes me over an hour to get hydrated. So I drink my hydration mix, and then I put on my compression socks. These are Pro compression socks. And then I've kind of gotten the habit of putting a second pair of socks, usually like a really lightweight, not lightweight, usually a very loose fitting is what I meant to say. Sort of a loose fitting, not super tight, secondary, like hiking sock of some kind, to sort of just give me a little bit extra compression when I'm walking and hiking. But definitely consult with your doctor before you do this, because it does add a little extra compression. But I'm not going to be able to just sit around with my legs reclined watching TV like this for very long, because it starts to feel tight. But when I'm walking and doing something active, it's like perfect. So this is just, these are probably Carhartt or something. Oh, Under Armour. It's just a pair of Under Armour hiking socks. And then I also have like this light, this is a very thin sock. Mid calf, these come up pretty high. Smart wool sock. Sometimes I'll put something like that over it, but it's been cold lately, so I've been doing more just a loose fitting, comfy, thick hiking sock. And then here are my favorite compression socks that I have found. I've tried a lot of different brands. These are called Pro Compression, made in the USA. And this particular color is my favorite. Don't ask me why, but this, I think it's called Heather Gray, I think is the name of this one. And for some reason, this color and style is the most comfortable to me of all the different colors and styles that I've bought from Pro Compression. So this is like my favorite. So I'm going to hydrate, put these on, maybe put a second sock over, and then a comfy pair of hiking shoes. These are Merrell's. I love them. I love Merrell's, but I have wide feet and I have bunions, as you can tell. So that is what I'm going to do before I really do any prolonged standing activity, walking or hiking of any kind. While we're talking about walking dogs with POTS, these are my favorite low hikers right now by Merrell. This is actually a men's shoe because, again, I have wide feet and I have bunions, so it's better for me to just buy a men's shoe. These are very, very comfortable and really good tread on the bottom. I just can't remember the exact name, but I will find that out for you and let you know. But I highly recommend these. I mean, I wear these for work too, but these are just great little trail shoes. And then one of my Christmas gifts that I love, I've had a really hard time finding a comfortable hiking boot. I just tend to hate high top hiking boots. They just seem like torture units for my feet. But again, I've had success with Merrell. This is a men's Merrell boot. Moab Speed 2 Mid Gore-Tex, and these are just super lightweight, super comfy, right out of the box, no breaking in. I wore all the snow and ice videos I did over the last couple weeks. I was in these boots all over that snow and ice, and they did great. They did amazing. So, you know, would I hike to the top of Mount Everest in these? No. They're thinner and lighter weight, so they're not going to be the warmest boot. You're not going to hike the entire AT in one pair of these. They'll probably break down over time, especially the outer material, because it is thinner and lighter weight. But I've loved these things, so highly recommend these as well. They've just been super comfy. Okay, so last thing, I just want to show you real quick a couple of neat things I do like about this watch. I mean, again, there's a bunch of YouTube videos where people go super in depth, and I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. I did figure out how to change the screen from the default screen. It had like real big numbers for the time, and I figured out how to switch it to this somehow, which I like because it automatically shows heart rate, and it shows the weather and the sunset. So I kind of like that. But, you know, you can scroll through a lot of different things. I mean, I can go to my heart rate and it'll kind of show what it's done. So that's kind of cool. That it kind of traces it. And then steps, sleep coach. I haven't worn it at night yet, but I'm going to do that because I've been having trouble with sleep. I haven't recorded any activities, so, and then I can just hold down on that and it goes straight to heart rate. I can hold down on weather and it tells me what the weather's doing today. And I can kind of go hourly, daily, so that's kind of neat. Hold down on the sun and it tells me sunrise, sunset. So that's super cool. So that's just kind of like, again, I've been using this for 48 hours. And that's sort of the extent of what I've figured out what to do with it so far. And then up here is where I would actually here's where you get to the activities. This button up here brings up where you would record an actual, I think I just hit this button again and then it records your exercise session. So pretty cool though. Alright guys, a few closing thoughts about this video that I'm making about how I get through my day with this condition that can make even walking the dogs, difficult. First, I just want to say any gear or equipment that I've mentioned, I'm going to try to provide a link in the description below if you want to click on anything and look into it. Secondly, I just wanted to say that for anybody that is dealing with a chronic illness, POTS, dysautonomia, I'm sorry you're going through this, and like I said, keep searching for answers and ways to manage your symptoms and to try to be functional, because I know that there are a lot of people out there with such severe forms of POTS that they literally can't even stand up and walk without passing out. Super high heart rates all the time, syncope, passing out, very debilitating conditions. I feel like I've got symptoms that are more manageable, where I used to have the super high heart rates with the SVT episodes. I don't have that anymore. My heart rate is still going a lot higher than I want, with just simple, easy activity, but I'm not fainting, I'm not passing out. I have more what they call pre-syncope and all the symptoms that goes with that. So, and then thirdly, I just wanted to say, do your research. There's a lot of exercise programs out there. There's a lot of websites with recommendations on managing symptoms. There are specialists now. There are doctors. There are actual centers, medical centers specializing in this. So if you go to just a regular cardiologist and your cardiologist blows you off and says, I don't think you have POTS, like mine told me, I don't think you have POTS because your resting heart rate would be a lot higher. I've never read that in any of the criteria. It all has to do with the heart rate change and it being up with that standing. He never even took my heart rate or vitals in sitting or standing, but yet he decides to announce that to me. So I just wanted to kind of say, I don't feel like cardiologists in general really want to deal with this condition. So if you can find someone that specializes in POTS or dysautonomia or one of these centers that specialize in it, I would recommend that. Maybe a neurologist, because again, it's a problem with our parasympathetic nervous system. So that might be a better route. But in the meantime, avoid things that you know are going to trigger it and make your symptoms worse. So try to hydrate, increase salt, avoid prolonged standing. To give yourself a lot of time in the mornings to get rehydrated and get going. Eat healthy, eat frequent small meals, avoid large carb meals, avoid heat. Don't go out in the middle of the summer. You're not going to do well. Avoid super hot showers and baths. You're going to feel horrible afterwards. Get you a shower chair. I broke my ankle 2 years ago and had to get a shower chair. I never got rid of it. So just full disclosure here, okay? And if you need medicine, again, that's going to be between your doctor or cardiologist or whoever manages it. But get your compression socks. They even make full compression stockings now. I think it's called Super Core. I was actually going to order some. They were on my Christmas list. I didn't get them. But I noticed that if I wear my yoga pants as an extra layer in the wintertime, it kind of helps me. It increases my standing vertical tolerance when I have those tight-fitting yoga pants on. In the summer, it's really hard. I don't want to walk around in 2 layers of pants and compression socks and a pair of hiking socks. It's like, it's really hard to do that. So just try to do the basic things that we know we can do to help with these symptoms, and don't give up. Get on these group sites, go to some of these special centers if you need to, all the things that we do automatically to try to manage our daily struggles. So those are my closing thoughts. And if y'all have any questions, let me know. If y'all have any recommendations on fitness trackers that you have found helpful and that you really like for managing your symptoms, there's one called Visible Health that's out there. It's like an armband. I've heard some people say they really like that. So that's the other thing I want to say is, this Garmin Forerunner 165, I mean, it's not something I would be like, oh, this is the first thing you should get if you have POTS. It's just something I wanted to try. But there's definitely a lot of other trackers, Apple Watches, things like that might be better for checking your overall symptoms. So I just wanted to kind of say that as well. Like, definitely look at what other trackers, fitness trackers are out there to help you keep up with what's going on with your body. So good luck to everybody, and y'all hang in there. Okay, do-it-yourself super salt hydration mix, Morton table salt, tablespoon measurer, lemon juice, stir hydration packets, some type of Crystal Light lemonade. This is sugar-free. This is the Ingles brand. I'm going to try to stick to flavors that don't have red 40 dye. I used to do fruit punch and other flavors, but some people say that they react to that and that stuff's not good for you. A 1 gallon pitcher and 1 liter Nalgene bottle. This is what I drink off of all day long. Got 1 tablespoon. I'm going to do 2 of these. If you want to measure this out, you can. I usually don't. I just squirt a lot in there, but I would do at least a tablespoon. So I've got my 1 gallon pitcher. I've got it marked up here at 1 gallon. I usually try to go over it because that's not quite 4 liters. I'm trying to get 4 liters. So sometimes I'll try to fill it as high as I can to get a full 4 liters of mix. All right, guys, I got my salt lemonade mix made up. I'm gonna fill this up and try to drink at least an entire liter of this before I even leave the house, ideally. So getting this in me in the morning is really important. I would love to drink at least 2 of these a day. I'm not sure I do that. I'm probably getting at least 1.5 liters in me pretty consistently, plus other things that I drink during the day. But ideally 2 of these. So basically, if my math's correct, we've got 2 tablespoons of sodium in here, salt, Morton salt, 14,000 milligrams total. So if you divide that 4 ways, then you can figure out how much you're getting in 1 liter. Nalgene bottle, which I think's around 3,500. Let me double check on that math. Recommendations for pots is 3,000 to 10,000 milligrams of sodium a day, unless you've got high blood pressure. So, you know, if you've got high blood pressure, hypertension, you've got to watch your salt intake. But that's how much sodium we're trying to get. So I'm making this every couple days, pretty regularly. And I tried the body armors, I tried all the special drinks and everything, but they're so expensive. Now, you could throw one of these or a couple of these in here if you wanted to add more electrolytes, B vitamins, potassium, that kind of stuff. I've used these. These are kind of my emergency use, you know, if I'm traveling, or I keep a couple in my purse in case I just need to hydrate and I've run out of my regular mix. So I do use these in a pinch. I put 2 of these in one full bottle because I'm trying to get the most sodium possible, and that would be 2,000 milligrams in here. I just don't think it's actually enough sodium for me. Is probably why I don't feel as good. when I drink these. It's like not quite enough, but it is good to have these as a backup. But this is kind of my go-to and what I'm drinking on a daily basis.